She's focused on it because she's just concerned about her father. That's what she's looking out for him.
I see. Okay. So I'm a monster because of mistakes I've made in my past, but Steffi, no, she's a sweet little angel.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everyone does. But you've made the same ones over and over again for decades with Ridge.
Oh, God.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another bold and a beautiful review. Today we had some very interesting conversations between Hope and Thomas and Brooke and Taylor. Now they were a little bit sassy, but I have to say they actually ended up being pretty mature conversations, and they came to the consensus that we've all been shouting from the rooftop for months and years. Ridge is the problem. Now, of course, they didn't say that, but you can clearly hear it in the undertones. Let's get into it.
You think he deserves better, right? Well, guess what, Taylor? He chose me. He loves me, and I love him. We're married. We have a future together. And we don't call each other Destiny just because it sounds cute. We call each other Destiny because nothing or no one will ever come between us.
So we found out yesterday that Brooke did not get to talk to Ridge that night because by the time he got home, she was already asleep. So that's telling us that he stayed over to Steffi's really, really late. Then he got up early the next morning for a meeting. So she was fuming and she headed over to Steffi's and confronted Taylor about it. Now, Taylor didn't believe her at first, and there were some funny moments in this. Like when Brooke told Taylor to get Steffy under control, and Taylor was like, okay, I'll ground her when I get home from school. She's a grown woman. So I had to laugh about that because I would have much rather Brooke got in her car and went over there and confronted them when it happened, and confront Ridge too. Because throughout this whole conversation, she was letting Ridge off the hook and seeing it as Taylor, Steffi, and Thomas manipulating Ridge.
Ridge could get caught up in that moment. But you? No, I think you knew exactly what you were doing. You see, you act all sweet and innocent and caring, but really you're very manipulative. Say whatever it is you want. Really doesn't matter. The fact is, you laid your lips on my husband.
So Brooke calls Taylor out for kissing Ridge and Monaco, and Taylor says, I kissed him back, implying that he kissed me and I reciprocated. So then Brooke says she understands how that moment was probably overwhelming with them seeing Steffi be reunited with Finn, and Ridge got caught up in the moment, and then she goes on to say what we just saw, that Taylor is being manipulative. And I'm like, ladies, please stop letting this man off the hook. We're 30 years in at this point. It is getting ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
How can you expect me to believe you after everything we've been through?
Because as much as we fight, I don't want to hurt you, Brooke. Seeing you in pain doesn't do anything for me. But I love Ridge too.
Okay, I was actually really impressed with Taylor here because she didn't go off into the, oh, but you've done this and that in your past, like Steffi likes to do. She actually took responsibility for, yes, this is this woman's husband, and we kissed while they're still married. She actually took responsibility for it and apologized. And the conversation gets really heartfelt right here. Like, I feel like if they brought in other men for these two women, that they could be great friends.
I'm sure you feel the same.
Yes, of course. He's my husband.
And your husband is in love with both of us. Ridge is torn between his feelings for you and his feelings for me. Don't tell me that you don't feel it. When you're with him, it's like he's there, but you don't have him 100%.
So first of all, I thought the Taylor and Brooke scenes today were magnificent. The way these ladies express themselves throughout the scenes. Y'all know I like to talk about not only the writing, but the scenes and the way the actors carried them out as well. And I love this conversation between these two ladies. But Taylor's point right there about feeling like when Ridge is with one, he's still thinking about the other, that you don't have him 100%. That means they're both feeling this way. Why would you want this? Because no matter who he chooses, he's still going to be split and thinking about the other. It's happened over and over and over again for years on end. And I think that may be why I'm having a hard time getting invested in this storyline. I want to ask y'all, I may put a poll out because I could care less which one he chooses. I'm just ready for them to wrap it up. And I feel like once the audience is at the point where they're not fighting for their favorite person to win, then you're kind of losing the audience, because what's the point of the storyline? I would much rather see both women walk away from him, tell him off one good time, and start over with new men. That's how this is feeling to me right now. Drop them in the comments, let me know if anybody else is feeling the same way. I think that would be the most empowering way they could write this story. I wonder if there are any women on the writers' team. I've never really looked into that, but it's just, I don't know. I can't get into it.
What I'm saying, look, I know that this whole Forrester Logan thing has taken its toll on you. I mean, you have done so much work trying to mend that bridge, and you have been incredible, allowing Douglas to spend as much time as he has over with me at the Forresters. I think that's beautiful. And I get how you feel about your mother and what she's going through, and the worry and the frustration that you get seeing that.
So Hope confronts Thomas about knowing about Steffy blocking Brooke from speaking to Ridge last night. And they actually had a maturing understanding, and I would say at times flirty conversation. He jokes about the Logans and the Forresters being like Romeo and Juliet's family. She reminds him that ended in death, and they joke about that being a bad example. But he does acknowledge how she's been trying to bring the family together, and this has been very frustrating for her. And he actually makes a good point that brings us back to our consensus of the day. Ridge is the problem.
Steffi understands that too, though.
Oh, please.
She does. Look at what's happening with our mother. Okay, every time our dad goes to be with your mom, think about what that does to our family. Think about what that does to our mom. We have felt every inch of worry and frustration that you have.
So what I'm hearing is that Ridge's selfishness and indecisiveness is causing a problem between these two families. But Hope did make a good point earlier in the conversation. Let the adults work it out themselves. There's no need for the kids to be doing tricks and little schemes to try to tilt him one way or the other. And we saw yesterday, Steffi declared herself basically the new Stephanie. She said her grandmother didn't put up with this stuff, and she's not going to either. So she's basically declaring herself the new Stephanie.
To see you smiling and happy again. Quite a contrast to the person I found in the alley.
I was a very different woman.
On the surface. But when I looked into your eyes, I could see that fire, that passion.
You really felt all of that?
Yeah. Maybe that's why I was so drawn to you.
So they threw in this scene of Bill and Lee bumping into each other at Il Giardino and having lunch together. And I really don't know if they're actually going anywhere with this, or just throwing scenes in here and there because the fans responded well to this possible pairing. But we will keep our eye on that. And those were your major storylines for today. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like the video, share, and subscribe. Look out for my poll on how do you feel about if you're still rooting for one lady over the other, or if they should just both walk away. I think I'm going to do that and put it over on the community tab. But thanks for watching. Like the video, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.